I'm Bill Gates, co-chair of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Ask me anything.
Bill, would you pick up $40,000 if you found it on the sidewalk? Referencing this https://u.new/esser8c edit, your proof is amazing.
Since our foundation can basically save a life for every $1,000 we spend, I would pick it up since that would be enough to save 40 lives, which is a big deal.
What's your fastest time in Expert Minesweeper without editing the INI file?
Sometimes you just get very lucky based on the configuration. I forget the exact time, but I think I had a time below 10 when it was just right.
Some people, Elon Musk, Stephen Hawking, etc., have come out in favor of regulating artificial intelligence before it is too late. What is your stance on the issue, and do you think humanity will ever reach a point where we won't be able to control our own artificially intelligent designs?
I haven't seen any concrete proposal on how you would do the regulation. I think it is worth discussing because I share the view of Musk and Hawking that when a few people control a platform with extreme intelligence, it creates dangers in terms of power and eventually control.
What's a technological advancement that's come about in the past few years that you think we were actually better off without?
I am concerned about biological tools that could be used by a bioterrorist. However, the same tools can be used for good things as well. Some people think hoverboards were bad because they caught on fire. I never got to try one.
Hey Bill. Has there been a problem or challenge that's made you, as a billionaire, feel completely powerless? Did you manage to overcome it, and if so, how? Now for a less serious question, sushi or Thai food? Thanks for doing this, IAmA.
The problem of how we prevent a small group of terrorists using nuclear or biological means to kill millions is something I worry about. If government does their best work, they have a good chance of detecting it and stopping it, but I don't think it is getting enough attention, and I know I can't solve it. I love both sushi and Thai food. Since I like them better than my family does, I have them for lunch a lot.
Are there any purchases that you are adamant about being frugal over? That one thing you just won't spend much money on?
I think people's spending instincts are set when they are in high school. I don't like spending a lot of money on clothes or jewelry. For me, I do like to buy nice things for my wife.
What do you see human society accomplishing in the next 20 years? What are you most excited for?
I will mention 3 things. First is an energy innovation to lower the cost and get rid of greenhouse gases. This isn't guaranteed, so we need a lot of public and private risk-taking. Edit. I talked about this recently in my annual letter, https://u.new/np7pack. Second is progress on disease, particularly infectious disease. Polio, malaria, HIV, TB, etc. are all diseases we should be able to either eliminate or bring down close to zero. There is amazing science that makes us optimistic this will happen. Third are tools to help make education better, to help teachers learn how to teach better, and to help students learn and understand why they should learn and reinforce their confidence.
What's your take on the recent FBI/Apple situation?
I think there needs to be a discussion about when the government should be able to gather information. What if we had never had wiretapping? Also, the government needs to talk openly about safeguards. Right now, a lot of people don't think the government has the right checks to make sure information is only used in criminal situations. So this case will be viewed as the start of a discussion. I think very few people take the extreme view that the government should be blind to financial and communication data, but very few people think giving the government carte blanche without safeguards makes sense. A lot of countries like the UK and France are also going through this debate. For tech companies, there needs to be some consistency, including how governments work with each other. The sooner we modernize the laws, the better.
Mr. Gates, how soon do you think quantum computing will catch on, and what do you think about the future of cryptography if it does? Thanks.
Microsoft and others are working on quantum computing. It isn't clear when it will work or become mainstream. There is a chance that within 6 to 10 years that cloud computing will offer supercomputation by using quantum. It could help you solve some very important science problems, including materials and catalyst design.
Bill, why aren't you running for president?
I like my current job at the foundation better than I would being president. Also, I wouldn't be good at doing what you need to do to get elected. I thought Michael Bloomberg was thoughtful about why it didn't make sense for him to try and run even though he is a great executive.
You dance anymore? Edit, relevant, link expired.
Not much. Jimmy Fallon had me dance in a video, but the hard stuff was not done by me. When I am at weddings, I get to dance. I decided that I would be different and never attend any class I was signed up for, but always attend a class I wasn't signed up for. This worked out in a funny way when the final exam for a combinatorics class, which I signed up for, was given at the same table as my brain studies class, which I attended and did not sign up for. My friends from brain studies thought it was very strange that I sat on the wrong side of the table and took the combinatorics exam even when I was the most vocal student in the brain class.
How did this even work? You passed the classes you didn't attend?
I studied super hard during reading period and almost always got A's. The big exception was organic chemistry, where the promised videotapes of the lectures sometimes had no sound or no video. That spooked me and I ended up getting a C+ in the course.
SQL Server on Linux was announced yesterday, as I'm sure you are aware. What do you think this means or says about the company's direction, culture and future?
I think it shows Satya looking at how the market is changing and being willing to change how things have been done. His embrace of the cloud and mobile, including doing software on other people's mobile platforms, are also great examples of that.
What are your thoughts on the many politicians that completely disregard climate change?
Politics operates in 4-year cycles, and climate change is a challenge that needs decades of work to reduce greenhouse gas emission. I am disappointed that the US is where the debate has been the most difficult. November in Paris was a positive milestone, with a commitment to reductions and a commitment to innovation by the https://u.nu/zzk35 and private https://u.nu/b9dkc.
I'm about to graduate high school. Do you have any life tips that I should know about moving forward in my life?
I think the value of getting a great education, that is going to college, is easy to underestimate. The most interesting jobs require a college education. The STEM-related jobs are probably the most interesting, although they are not for everyone. The value of staying curious, reading a lot and learning new things even after college is also underestimated.
What's your personal computer specs?
I just recently switched to the Surface Book. I only detach the screen a few times a week and I like the keyboard better than my previous Surface.
Hello Mr. Gates, I know you love to read, carry a lot of books around and learn how to speed read. Is there some technique you use to make this easier? More generally, how do you attack a book you're interested in?
It is worth learning how to read a bit faster. I am not sure what the best course for that is nowadays. I had a friend who took Evelyn Wood and told me what they said. I have a rule that I always finish a book once I start it. This might now work for everyone. I only read 2 books at a time, in fact usually just one unless one of them is so complex I need to mix things up. I read a lot at night and my biggest problem is that I stay up too late and regret it the next day when I haven't had as much sleep as I would like.
Any plans to retire and enjoy a quieter life? It strikes me that you must be sacrificing a lot to remain so active on these projects.
I love my work. I love meeting the scientists and field workers. I have the flexibility to work less if I wanted to, and I do take vacations now. When I was in my 20s I didn't believe in vacation, so I have mellowed. I feel super lucky that I can be involved in the foundation work with Melinda for another 30 years, assuming my health holds up.
Hi Bill. You began Microsoft with the easy goal of putting a computer in every home. If you were to start all over today, what would your goal be instead?
I think it looks easier in retrospect than it did at the time. People thought we were a bit crazy, even leaders in the industry like Ken Olsen said they didn't need a computer at home. Being young allowed us to think about computers in a different way. Today the challenge is to make computers more intelligent. Software still doesn't understand what thing I should pay attention to next. In fact, the proliferation of various tools like texting and email and notifications mean the user has a lot of complexity to deal with. Eventually the software will understand what you should pay attention to by knowing the context and learning about your preferences.
May your day be filled with joy and happiness. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe for more quality content every day.